Hello friends, this is the continuation of the first video I made on how to make this drone. In the first video I showed you all the parts you'll need. So now I have all the parts in my hand and I'll show you how to build the drone. So if you like this video, drop a like on it, share it with your friends and family, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel for more such educational videos.
All the parts will be needing your frame. This is one motor, you need 4 of these. A camera, an ESC and a flight controller, a hardware kit, a 4-in-1 hex driver, some antennas, a video transmitter, a video receiver, and a transmitter. This is all the parts we'll be needing for this build. So first we need to assemble the frame. It does not come assembled like this, it comes in different parts. There's this bottom plate, the main metal plate, the top plate, the 4 arms, these standoffs, this TPU mount, and these TPU mounts for your camera. By the way, this is for your antenna. So to assemble this frame, you first take the main metal base plate, and there are 4 slots inside of it. So you slide the 4 arms in and tighten and put the bottom plate on. Then you tighten these 2 screws at first. Then you tighten these 4 screws with the longer screws. These are 1 millimeter and these are the longest one in the set. Then you put standoffs on these same screws from the top side. Okay, then you put this TPU mount on the back. The back is marked by these 2 lines, and the front is like this. Then your top plate comes on. So this is the back side, this is the front side. How we know it is because when your camera is tilted up, you need space. So this is an indentation for it. Then from your hardware kit, you will take 2 M3 16mm screws and put them through these 30 by 30 stack screws. If you're making a 20 by 20 build, you'll put them through these screws. So once you've put them in, you take the 4 nylon nuts, or preferably if you have steel nuts, you can use those, and tighten them down all the way to the base, like this. Okay, and also when you tighten these screws, you will need to attach a nylon a nut, and this nut is not very easy to attach, but I have found a really easy way to do it. So you just place the nut with your finger, and without having anything else but only the metal plate, you just tighten the screw down very nicely, as tight as you can get it, but don't get it too tight, or else it might strip the screw. So you can get it as tightly as you can, easily, after which it stops moving onto these two. So these nuts will be pulled in, and then you remove the screws. So these nuts will stay. So now next up we need to mount the motors. So these are the motors. These are Zing 2207 motors. And you'll be needing 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'll just show you by opening one of the motors how it looks like. Comes inside the motor. When you open the box, there's this nice foam padding to protect the motor. You can throw that away for now. There's the motor itself, and a box of hardware. So this comes with the screws you need for the motor, and also the motor's nylock nut. You can keep that aside. Don't throw this away. It is very important. And this is your main motor. It is a 2450 kV motor, and it is 2207, which means the hub of this motor is 22 millimeters wide, which is 2.2 centimeters, and the length of this motor is 0.7 centimeters, which is 7 millimeters. So 2207. Next up, we need to unbox all the motors and keep all these hardware kits at one side. We have all the 4 motors unboxed. We need to take these nylock screws and put them on the motor. So I'll just show you how to do one. This is a nylock screw and just screw it onto the motor all the way. Don't tighten it too hard right now. We'll do that later. So I'll just put all these screws on and I'll get back to you. So for this you'll be needing a 4-in-1 hex driver, and at first you will be puzzled to see that there are no bits for it. But if you just pull off this cover, this black one, there will be all the 4 bits neatly inside of it. And as you can see, all the 4 bits are neatly inside of it. So next up we'll just take one of these screws and see which one fits it. The motor screws for these motors are H2.0. So you can just take that bit and put it on and you will be able to tighten these screws no problem. So now we have this attached, and now we tighten all the 4 screws on all these motors. So total of 16 screws. So right now I've tightened on 2 of these screws. So see, this is a cross pattern. Now I'll tighten the other 2 screws and then I'll tighten all of them nicely. These are just loosely put in so that they just fit inside. This is the perfect example why you need to use the cross pattern. I haven't quite tightened down this screw, that's why this plate is up right now. And from the other side, if you look, this plate is completely flush where the screw has been tightened down. So I'll be doing this and I'll show you one and I'll get back to you after I've done all of them. You need to check before tightening these screws is that the screws don't go into the windings at all. If they go into the windings, they'll destroy your motor. These are the screws, and if they come out all the way to the winding, they'll destroy your motor. So now we have all the 4 screws, 4 motors attached, and now we need to run these wires. So before we run these wires, I would recommend that we put on the ESC. So I saw this really amazing video on YouTube in which a person took some electrical tape and put it on these wires. So they also look very neat. So I also used that method. And now we need to solder these wires to the connectors. Remember to leave an extra bit of slack on them because you might need to cut them up later on. Because you might need to extend them later on or something. So leave at least about half a centimeter of slack on them. So this is the Xylo stack. This is the ESC. This is the flight controller. So right now we need the ESC. What we need is this hardware kit and the ESC itself. And you can close this box up right now because you don't need anything else from it. So this is your 4-in-1 ESC, and this is its back side. And the back side of our drone is this one. So we need to put the ESC on it like this, inside on the tracks. So we'll unscrew these 4 screws and put the ESC on. So now you have all the 4 screws of the stack removed, of the top plate removed. Now we just take off the top plate. Take our ESC and now I need to press down on these so the ESC goes in. Once I have done that, I'll get back to you. So now as you can see, I have almost bottomed out the ESC, but the nylon nuts are stopping it from going any lower. So this is a perfect length for it. And these rubber gummies will keep it snug and protect it from vibrations. So now we need to solder to these 4 pads. These 3 pads are for each motor. We need to solder the motor wires to them, and before we do that, we also need to solder the main battery lead to the main positive and the main negative terminal of the battery of the ESC. So it is these 2 terminals. So first we'll start with the battery lead and then we'll go on to solder the motor wires. Battery lead, the ESC comes with this X360 connector and this 12 gauge wire, I think it is, to solder the battery lead. And this is what the ESC comes with already. So these are your 2 wires, X360 connector and its cover. So you don't need heat shrink with this cover because you can just put this cover on after you soldered the wires and it will isolate them. So now we need to solder these wires on. You can see any guide on YouTube how to do it. It is very easy, so I won't be showing it right now. And anyway, if you don't know soldering, you should not be making this drone because it should not be your first soldering project. You should have some experience with soldering, because if you try to solder to some tiny pads like the receiver pads, you're sure to have a hard time and most probably you won't even be able to solder it. So now I have soldered up the pigtail, And now I'll solder it up to the drone. Remember the big pads I showed you on the drone, the two big ones, we'll solder it to those pads, the main battery wires of the ESC. So now I have soldered up these two wires, and now remember the low ESR capacitor which came with our stack, we need to solder that onto these wires, the same battery leads. So this is the capacitor which came with it, and we need to solder it onto the battery leads like this. So as you can see, I've shortened and trimmed the wire and stripped the wires of one of these motors which will go over here, and now I'll pre-tin the wires, the pad, and then solder them on. Now I soldered up the capacitor, and you might not be able to solder it up on the normal heat on which you soldered up the main wires. So I got my soldering iron down to about 250 to 300 degrees Celsius, and I was able to solder it. Next up, we need to solder the three individual motor wires to the three ESC pads, and we can do that very easily because we don't need to worry about the orientation right now. We'll change it later on in BL Heli system. Now as you can see, I have soldered up these three wires and pre-tinned these pads. So now we need to connect them together. Make sure that there are no sort of bridges anywhere, even on the main battery leads or in these ones. Now we need to solder these up in any order we want. It does not matter right now. Right now, as you can see, I have soldered up the three motor wires of this motor. Now I need to do the same for each one of them. Remember to work from the left and go towards the right. If you are a right-handed person, it will be easier. And as you can see, I have soldered up the second motor wire, and you see I have almost cut this a bit too short. So this is why you should keep some slack on your motor wires. I almost cut these ones too short, and they would have ruined my quad, and I would have needed to add extensions to these wires, but I just got lucky and was able to solder to them. Now we do for the same for the other two motors. Now as you can see, I have soldered up all of these wires. They don't look pretty, but they're on snugly. Now what we need to do is put the flight controller over the ESC and connect this wire to the flight controller's 4-in-1 ESC wire. You need to check that these wires are compatible with each other, because you can fry them if you use some other 4-in-1 ESC and some another flight controller. But since both of these came in a stack form, that means that I am 99% sure that these are the correct order for the flight controller, but I'll just cross check once again for that. Flight controller, and this is where you should probably change your soldering iron tip from this broad one to a narrower pointed one. To mount the flight controller though, we need 4 of these rubber grommets which would be there in your hardware kit, and in the FPV crate hardware kit, and we need to put them on these so that the flight controller does not touch the ESC. Flight controller, and as you can see, it is very tiny. This is my finger for comparison. So these are the pads we'll be using. This is the 4-in-1 wire for the 4-in-1 ESC. This is your S-bus wire for your receiver. These three, S-bus, 5V and ground. This is for Spectrum. We are not using Spectrum in this build, so we won't use these wires. Then these are your UARTs. Camera. These are the three wires for your camera. Cam for the signal. Power, plus, minus is ground. And this is for your VTX, video transmitter, smart audio, power, ground. Don't use the CC pad. These are your buzzer wires, you won't be using them. Mostly we'll be using these wires and these wires and these pads. So we need to solder up the camera, the video transmitter, and the receiver next. So before we do that, remember the wire which came with the ESC, it is actually too small to go to fit this connector. So there's two wires which come with the flight controller. We'll be using those. Next up, you need to find an arrow on the flight controller. See, this is the arrow, which means this is the front of the flight controller and this is the back. So if this is the front, then this is the front of our drone. So the flight controller goes on like this with the USB to the back right. So I'll just put it on and show it to you. So what I did is took the wire from the flight controller, twisted it up a bit and put it to the ESC. And now you can see the front facing arrow here is to the front of the quad because these are camera mounts. So next up we need to mount a camera, and I also was able to get some threads here with which we'll be able to mount a receiver too. And as you can see, it is a pretty tiny stack, so you need to know soldering well. So first let us take the wire which came with this one and connect it to the flight controller and the ESC. Now I'll mount the camera and show you how to do so. First up we need to mount the camera. It comes in with this box with this hardware. So take the two screws and put them through like this. Make sure that this part is on the top. Now you can change the angle and it will stay there. Then using the 2mm hex driver, just tighten up these screws according to your camera angle. So now I have set the camera angle and tightened the screws. So now it won't move. So now we need to connect these wires to the camera ports. Now in this camera we also get this wire. So these two wires are for the OSD and these are for the camera. The red is the positive, yellow is video out, black is negative, and white and this pinkish wire. The white wire is for the OSD and the pinkish wire is the OSD sensing wire, the voltage sensing wire for the OSD. We won't be using the OSD in the camera. We won't be using the OSD in the camera, so we will be using this joystick which also comes with the camera to turn it off. We'll connect the joystick to this port. So first of all we need to connect these wires respectively. So these wires will connect to here with ground for the black wire, power for the red wire, camera for the yellow wire. Once I've done these three, I'll get back to you. The OSD wires we don't need to connect right now because we'll be turning off the OSD in this. So now as you can see, I have connected the camera wires. Next up we need to connect the receiver. The receiver will go to these three pads: S-bus, 5 volts and ground. So I'll take out the receiver and show you how to connect it. This is the receiver. This is the XM receiver. If you're using the XM Plus receiver, you will have one more antenna. This is the antenna, and this is the size of the receiver as compared to the motor. And if you see very closely, there are some labels on it, these ones. To see them, there's also a diagram here. So as you can see, the square pad is your S-bus, then 5 volt, then ground. Square pad is S-bus, then 5 volts is in the center, then ground. So we'll use this leftover camera lead and solder it to that. Ground will be black, 5 volt would be red, and the S-bus would be the yellow wire. I'll just do that and get back to you. Now I have connected the wires to the receiver and I'll connect it to these three pins. The S-bus, the 5 volt and the ground. I'll just do this and get back to you. Connected, put some electrical tape on this side of the video transmitter and I'll stick the receiver over it like so. I've connected the three receiver wires and now we'll connect the video transmitter over here. So the three wires for the video transmitter, there would be 4 wires for the video transmitter: the smart audio, power, ground and VTX out. Since I made a big mistake, I should have used M3/18 screws, but since they were not included, I used M3/16. So I had to remove the lowermost screw from the standoff. So now it is just being held by the topmost screw. So this is the hardware which comes with the video transmitter. This is the video transmitter itself, and this is the pigtail. This is the SMA to MMCX connector. So now I will put this video transmitter over the flight controller like this. I'll just do this and get back to you. For this we need the nylon standoffs which came with the FPV Crate hardware kit. I've soldered up the VTX. Now I'll just I added these nylon standoffs and I'll just put the VTX over it and add nylon nuts. So we are basically done with the hardware part, and now we have to program it in Betaflight. But before we go to beta flight, we need to first do a smoke check. So we'll take a multimeter over here, and we'll see if, in continuity mode, if there's a beep. So I've just connected this. I'll just put some nylon nuts onto it. I'll just get back to you after I do it. Connected the video transmitter with the nuts, and now we can do the smoke check. So now what I've done is I've taken these two screws and put them on this SMA connector on this TPU mount. So now the SMA connector has been fitted snugly. This is mostly the completed quad. I'll just put a piece of double-sided sticky tape on the receiver and tape it down like this. Then I'll put a zip tie over here and put the receiver antenna like this, and that's basically done. And I'll at last put this on like this. So this is the drone completely built. Now in the next video I'll be showing you how to program this drone in beta flight. To smoke check your quad, put the multimeter in continuity mode and touch the probes of the multimeter with the Extra60 connector on the drone. If you get a beep for more than 3 seconds, you have a short circuit. But if it stops beeping after a few seconds, then you're good to flash it in beta flight. And the beep is because of the capacitor. What I have done is taken this battery strap, and now I'll mount it like this. So I'll take off the double sided tape on it and just mount it like this. So this is the battery strap, and it is a very rubbery strap, and it will hold the battery in place.